What's going on, guys? Since the last time we asked this question, we have doubled in subscriber count. So shout out to all of you who have hit that big red button. And just because you answered last time doesn't mean you don't have to answer again. I want everybody to stand up, be proud, and shout out your city in the comments. The thing I love about Giants fans, we are scattered all over the world, and I want to know where all you guys are watching from. And in today's video, we've got a Giants mailbag coming for you, so let's get to it. Giants fans, what is going on? I hope you're having a great Friday, or if you're watching this on the weekend, a great weekend. In today's show, we're getting to a mailbag where I answered all of your guys' questions on our most recent community post. And if you're wondering, hey, how do I get on these mailbags? It's a two-step process. Step one, go down and hit that big red button because we only take subscribers' questions. And step two, drop your questions when I ask for them. So right now I'm asking for them. So get in the comments and use hashtag Giants and fire away and ask your questions like Bing Bong did. And that's why we're answering his question. He said this: it sounds like Joe Judge will be back next year, but do you think we should take a look at Doug Pederson? Look, I do think Joe Judge will be back. And that sucks because I know we're going to hire a new GM. There are reports out that Dave Gettleman is going to retire or be fired. So a new GM is going to come in. And I don't just want them to thrust Joe Judge, that is, onto them. I don't think that's fair. But on Doug Pederson, I do have some things and some thoughts about him. So let's get to it. I think Doug would be a good replacement because he's kind of the anti-Joe Judge. And let's document what happened in Philadelphia. He took over a messy situation following Chip Kelly. The culture was in a bad spot, and he immediately won over the locker room and is a great players coach who the guys really respect. He's the opposite of Judge, a guy who you want to hang out with and be around and not be an egotistical, stubborn jackass. I love his temperament and leadership qualities. I think he's a really good play caller, especially in the clutch and big games. He played QB, backed up Brett Favre, learned a lot under Andy Reid, and coached with him. A good QB developer. He outcoached Bill Belichick in the Super Bowl with a backup QB and never showed fear in that game. He's an aggressive offensive mind who is mindful of analytics, which I like. And what went wrong in Philly? The Wentz injury. His confidence was shattered, a ton of injuries, draft misses, he clashed with the front office. Not a Pederson problem, but a Howie Roseman problem. I think Pederson would be a great replacement for all the things I mentioned, and he's a player's coach. Not saying Joe Judge isn't, but he has shown that he's been able to connect with players in the locker room and get the absolute best out of them. He was the Eagles head coach from 2016 to 2020 when he was eventually fired. He went 42-37-1 in his 5 seasons with Philly. He won a Super Bowl. Look, he knows the NFC East, and he's proven that he can win at the highest level. That's what I like about him. He also played in the NFL for a very long time, so he knows what it's like to be a player in the NFL. There's a lot of reasons to like Doug Pederson, and if Joe Judge gets fired, Pederson would be one of the first guys I would reach out to and try to get in contact with to book an interview. But let me know what you have to say. This show is all about audience interaction, so get down in the comments and voice off and sound off how you feel about Dougie P. If you're interested in hiring him, type Y for yes, or if you're not, go down in the comments and type N for no. This next one coming in from Giants Nation, they ask, what 5 players would you build around if you were the GM? I think this is a fitting thing to talk about because following the loss this past weekend, a lot of the Giant Twitter heads were talking. Who are foundational pieces on this roster? And if you had to choose players that you wanted to build around, who would they be? So I picked 5, and I had some trouble getting down to the 5th one. But let's get to it. The first guy on the list, Leonard Williams. You have to build around Leonard Williams because to be able to win games in the National Football League, you have to dominate the trenches and be physical on the offensive and defensive line of scrimmage. And I think Leonard Williams, I know he gets a lot of hate, but he's been consistent. He's never missed a game in his NFL career. He is always after the quarterback, and I think he is someone that is a foundational piece for the New York Giants. Player number 2. Andrew Thomas. And I think this one kind of speaks for itself. He struggled in his rookie year, but this second year, as the Giants left tackle, he has proven that he is going to be a franchise left tackle. And if he can stay away from injuries, he will be a New York Giant for a very, very long time, protecting the blind sides for quarterbacks. Maybe Daniel Jones, maybe not. Maybe he's on this list. Keep watching and you'll find out. Number 3, Xavier McKinney. I really like what I have seen from him in his second year in the NFL. He didn't get to play a lot in his rookie year due to that foot injury, caused him to miss a lot of time. He is absolutely everything we dreamed of when we drafted him out of Alabama. He's a ball hawk. He can play in the box. He can guard tight ends. He can guard slot receivers. He is a 5-tool safety, and I like what he brings to the defensive team. And he's also showing leadership qualities, which I think are very, very important. I really like X-Man. Number 4, Azeez Ojulari, the rookie. He already has set the record for most sacks for a rookie in New York Giants history. Now he has 7.5. Look, I really like him. He's long, he's lean, he's tall, he's athletic. He has shown the ability to bend the edge, and he's only adding more pass rushing moves to his bag. I think Azeez Ojulari can be a perennial pass rusher to be one of the best in the NFL for a very long time. And this 5th one, I didn't know who to go with. I didn't really know, so I went with someone that I think you guys might call it a hot take, Kadarius Toney. But Marshall, he's hurt. He's only had one good game. But look, in that one game, he showed me that he's able to be one of the most electric playmakers in the NFL. If he can stay healthy, and if the Giants can find ways to build him into game plans and get him the ball in open space, I think he can be a very valuable asset for an offense looking for an explosive playmaker. These are my 5 guys. No, there's no Daniel Jones on there. He wouldn't be in my top 5 guys I would build around. But look, that doesn't mean I'm out on Daniel Jones. The good with Daniel Jones is good enough for him to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. The bad, it's bad enough for him to be a backup one day. But look, I know we don't have a lot of foundational pieces on this team, but those are my 5. I want to know who your 5 are, so get in the comments and let me know. Or if you disagree with my list, let me know as well. Tell me how you feel. What 5 players would you build around? Guys, if you're still watching this video, that means you're a real one and you love the Giants just like I do. So go down and hit that big red button. Look, this is a channel where we do absolutely nothing but cover the New York Giants. When news breaks, when rumors pop up, trade rumors, the NFL draft is just around the corner. The Giants, they have 5 top 75 picks. So our draft coverage here on Giants Now will be very, very large, and we will be making videos almost every single day. So look, if you're looking for a Giants channel that does nothing but cover the Giants, a one-stop shop for Giants news and rumors, this is your place. So go down and hit that big red button. This next one coming from Tom Brady's daddy. That's a great name. Shout out to you, bro. Should the Giants trade one of their first-round picks for a proven player like the Rams do all the time? I think this is a loaded question and a very fair question because there's the NFL draft. It's like buying a lottery ticket. Just because you pick someone in the first round doesn't mean that they're going to be an all-pro player. You actually miss more than you hit in the first round, and Giants fans, they know that. But I do like the way the Rams operate for that reason. When you can trade a lottery ticket for straight cash money, what do I mean by that? Trading a chance for a proven player, I think that works out. I know it doesn't really help the cap situation, but when you can trade a question mark for someone that's already shown that they're able to produce in the National Football League, I like that. I like the way the Rams operate. But this really only works for teams in win-now mode. And it's unfortunate, and I think all of you would agree, the Giants, they are not in win-now mode. So I would not trade a first-round pick, one of the 2 that we have in the upcoming draft, for a proven offensive lineman. One, because we're not in win-now mode. When you do that trade, you're trading for a guy that's probably 25 to 30 years old against a guy in the NFL draft that's in his young 20s. You're also trading for a guy that probably has a larger salary cap and cap hit compared to a guy in the NFL draft. So I like what the Rams do, but right now, with the state the Giants are in, I would avoid doing that. But you tell me. I want to know how you guys feel about this one. Would you trade one of the first-round picks, our pick or the Bears pick, for a proven offensive lineman in the 2021 NFL draft? Type T for trade or type K for keep. This next one coming from the Giants fan. What is the deal with the Giants cap space heading into the offseason? We do not have a lot of cap space. Right now, it's pretty sad to say, but we're not going to even have enough money to sign our rookie players if we don't make moves by cutting players or doing certain things. If the season ended today and the offseason started tomorrow, the Giants are projected to have $3.5 million in cap space. You can't really do a lot with that. You're actually going to have to create more cap space for players that's contracts are increasing in salary and for players that are coming in via trade, free agency, or the NFL draft. You got to use cap space to sign those NFL rookies. But the worst thing about the cap situation, for 6 players, and we'll show 3 right now, and we'll get to the other 3 later. 6 players for the Giants' 2022 NFL roster, they are taking up 50% of the cap. Yes, 6 players calculate for 50% of the cap. Leonard Williams, he has a cap hit of $27.3 million. James Bradberry, he has a cap hit of $21.8 million. Kenny Golladay, the guy who hasn't scored a touchdown yet, has a cap hit next year of $21.1 million. Then these next 3 guys, Adoree Jackson, he has a cap hit of $15.5 million. Blake Martinez, he has a cap hit of $14.0 million. And Sterling Shepard, he has a cap hit of $12.4 million. Those 6 guys we showed you on screen, they are taking up 50% of the salary cap for the 2022 NFL season. And SNY, they had a great piece on what the Giants could do to create cap space. So let's get into what they had to say because, you know, it's not all about me. The Giants could save about $21 million by cutting cornerback James Bradberry and linebacker Blake Martinez. Cutting Nick Gates would save $2.5 million. Cutting Riley Dixon would save $3.25 million. And cutting Devontae Booker would save $2 million. Let's say they did all of the above and cut Shepard, Rudolph, Bradberry, Martinez, Gates, Dixon, and Booker. That would bring them to about $46 million in salary cap space. Maybe they squeeze a few more dollars out of a couch cushion and get it to a nice round $50 million. Something I also want to add to that piece, trading Saquon Barkley would save the Giants $7.5 million in cap space. So there are ways for the Giants to navigate their way through this messy cap situation. But look, it's ugly. They're going to have to do some digging and some diving to fix this 2022 cap situation because it's bad. It's not good. But look, all those players that we talked about cutting, you would have to find replacements for them. And you're not going to find better replacements most likely in the free agency market. You do have, I think it's 11 draft picks coming up in the 2022 NFL draft. So that is the most key piece of the offseason. The Giants, they need to hit on the NFL draft because, look, they're not going to be able to make a lot of moves in free agency. Trading is going to be tough because their cap space is slim. But look, there could be a roster overhaul if a new GM comes in. So just brace yourself for that because if a new guy comes in, they're going to want to do their things their way, and they're going to want to get their players in and fix this ugly cap situation. But sound off for me. How concerned are you about the Giants' 2022 cap situation? You only have $3.5 million in cap space and 6 players, not a quarterback in those 6 players. That's what's bad. 6 players are taking up 50% of that cap space. Use it on a scale of 1 to 10. Let me know how concerned you are about the Giants cap space situation. And guys, hit me up on Twitter. I've been trying to up my Twitter clout, and a lot of you guys watching these videos have been surprisingly following me on Twitter. I'm not sure why, but I appreciate it, guys. And if you're still watching at this point, you're a real one because the analytics say not a lot of people finish these videos. So for the people that do, I really appreciate it. And hit me up on Twitter, send me a DM, give me a follow, and I promise I will shout all of you guys that follow me from this video out in a next video. So hit me up, let me know that you came from this video.